Hello, I'm in Lullington in East Sussex, and this is the smallest church in Sussex and one of the smallest in the country. It's 16 feet square and seats about 20 people. There's no electric, so services are conducted by candlelight in the evenings. It's believed the church was once much bigger. See maybe an old bit of wall there. But it was burnt down in what they believe to be Cromwell's time. The church dates from the 13th century and it's early English style. The original dedication may be to Saint Zita, but no one knows totally. Got a memorial here to Edward Joseph Dobson, 1877 to 1950, and underneath, to the glory of God and in memory of Flight Lieutenant acting Flight Commander Indian Frontier Joseph A. Ballantyne Dobson, born September 1914, lost over Siam December 1941. It's also one of these pillars. There's one in the other church in Ovingdean, St Wolfran's. I'm not exactly sure what they are. Got another one here, Tom Wimbush, 1964. His son John Craven, 1981. And Violet Mary, 2000. So let's go have a look inside the church. And right here you've got an old picture. Restoration of Lullington Church, 1893. I was just reading inside that there are 7 of these in each churchyard along the Cookmere Pilgrim Path. It's designed on a medieval mass dial, which were used by priests or monks to tell when to say their prayers. The stick can be placed into the central hole to cast a shadow when the sun is out. The journey from one church to another can be measured in terms of the movement of the shadow. So that's pretty cool. Next stop on the trip is Alfriston Church, which is very interesting and considerably bigger. This is St Andrew's Church in Alfriston, and you have another prayer dial. This church was founded in the 1360s. It's unusual because it was built mostly at one time with very little add-ons later. And it's a very large church. I just noticed this walking past. Alfriston War Memorial Hall. So I'll see if that's open after. It became known as its nickname, Cathedral of the South Downs, even though it's not cathedral. That's due to its size. No one knows why or who commissioned the church, but it's believed that it may be part of a pre-Christian site. So there should be some famous people buried in here, which I'll go and have a look at. Looks like there's an extension to the cemetery and some ashes plots, as well as some statues down there we'll go and have a look at. There's this very interesting memorial. Looks like a dolphin and a panda. Very nice. Here's the first headstone that we've come to have a look at. This is the grave of Peter Bryan Medawar and his wife, Jean Shinglewood. He was born in Petropolis in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and he won the Nobel Prize for medicine in 1960. Also with him is author and social reformer Jean Shinglewood Taylor Medawar. Her work included the environment, population control and family planning. And at the bottom of the grave it says there is no contentment but in proceeding. Just behind Medawar is the next grave, W.E. Sparks. As you can see, it says a cockleshell hero. William Bill Sparks was the last survivor of the famous cockleshell heroes. They paddled 85 miles from the Bay of Biscay up the river to Bordeaux in German-occupied France to plant limpet mines on merchant ships supplying the Nazi war machine. So his headstone says, "To my dearest husband, a cockleshell hero, W.E. Sparks, sadly missed, fell asleep November 30th, 2002, aged 80, and his wife Irene Sparks, 1919 to 2005. Just here we have the grave of a politician, Denis Healey, 1917 to 2015. He was a politician for the Labour Party and served as both Secretary of State for Defence and Chancellor of the Exchequer during the 1960s and 70s. And with him is Edna Healey, his wife, 1918 to 2010. She was an author, wrote some non-fiction books, often biographies of successful women in powerful positions. She also made 2 award-winning television documentaries. Just over the wall looks like there are more headstones, and also a nice cottage with a thatched roof. It's a bit of a closer view of the cottage. There's a lot of moss on that thatched roof. It's the old clergy house. Right, here is Commonwealth Grave. Flight Lieutenant C. Batten, pilot, Royal Air Force, 24th of September 1945, age 25. This is the last headstone I'm going to look at here. Brigadier General William Boodle. He was born in Alfriston, but he settled in what is now Harare, Zimbabwe, and for a short time ran a general store. In 1896 he took a leading role in the Jameson raid. That was a raid that my great-grandfather took part in. So they could have known each other. He was detained by the Boer government and sent back to England. He then made his way back to what was Rhodesia. And as you can see from the bottom, born at Alfriston, July 5th, 1855. Died at Alfriston, July 9th, 1924. A pioneer of Rhodesia. To live in hearts we love is not to die. And around the cross says, "Blessed are the pure in heart." A nice Celtic design. So let's go have a look inside the church. There's probably a statue on that tomb a long time ago. It's a very nice church. Memorial up here to the Harriet family. There's quite a few names on there. There's one here to Lieutenant Colonel Harry Smith of the 68th Light Infantry. Died November 1851 from a wound received at the Battle of Inkerman, age 53. Thomas Smith, Abraham, who died at Algiers, 1873. Lieutenant Harry Edmund Smith, died in the Crimea from fever, 1855. And Lieutenant Colonel Harry Smith, of the same regiment and grandson of the Honourable Reverend Edmund Knox. And then you've got a World War II memorial here. And a World War I memorial. And this sign, St Andrew's Parish Church, Alfriston, the Cathedral of the South Downs. Let's go have a look and see if the War Memorial Hall is open. Well, sadly, the War Memorial Hall is not open, but it is a bank holiday. So that's it from Alfriston. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.